welcome back, guys. It's been a hot minute. I've missed you. It's been what, 3 weeks?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Well, that's too long. So, but it was also the holidays and the new year. Like life's been crazy. So I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. I'll start with you, Ariel. Your gifts and what you do.
Hello, my name is Ariel, and I am in the process of launching my business, thelunarclair, or I guess my brand. Um, I would like to focus on healing through grief, helping people find closure and how to move forward after a loss. So I would just say kind of a psychic, intuitive medium.
Yes, and she just had the best training day ever. She had two clients back to back, killed them both. Melissa, I'll go with you.
I'm Melissa. I am up in the Pacific Northwest, and I clairvoyant, clairsentient, clair, all the clairs. But mostly, I really wanted to focus on energy work. So that is something that I have done in the past unknowingly. And yeah, I'm just kind of feeling out where that's going to go. And I do a lot of the fairs up here in the Northwest, and MeWe fairs is where I am most often. But I do feel like also that I'm doing a lot of like spiritual ministry these days with the clients. So I think that's a theme for all of us right now.
Yes. No, and you're so gifted. And I do think that's going to pick up, but we'll talk about that later. And Miss Danica.
Hi, I'm Danica Olson. I am a psychic medium, and I would say I specialize more in mediumship and connecting people with their loved ones that have died. I just started my business called Goldilocksglimmers.
Yes,
So,
I love it.
yeah,
And it's just right. Oh my God, they're in a
thanks.
good mood. I think
Thanks
they're
for
happy
the
to do this again because they've been pretty through me for all of my clients today, and now suddenly they're outside of me. So I think they're excited to be here. All right, well, we've got great conversation. We're going to cover this year as the fire horse, sort of understanding what messages we get around not only the what that means to be, but also what this year might look like. I know we kind of did a rundown in December that was a little bit up and down, but we can get more of a thematic view. Another thing we're going to cover today is how does one align to purpose, soul path? Make sure how do we navigate our contracts? Make sure to not miss the contracts. We can cover all that, and we're going to cover navigating pain when truths come out, hard truths that are challenging. Am I missing something, or did we cover? Is that right? I only have 3 down. Okay, cool. Rock and
That seems
roll.
right.
And so let's get started. We're gonna bring our guides right up by us, right behind us, on each of our shoulders, and make sure that they're present with us. Because one of the things that this podcast does is we try to set aside who we are and what we are, and let the guides have full channel. Okay. Let's feel out what the fire horse, what that energy really feels like. We're gonna draw that close and see kind of how it makes us feel. Ariel, I'll start with you.
So the first feeling that I get with that is almost a weightlessness feeling. It really just feels like cutting anything heavy that has been left over, not just from this past year, but maybe anything over the last several years, and just really uncovering the truth of what will be going forward. And it is something that not a lot of people are ready to face head on. It's going to be a challenge for those who really don't have the willpower to let go. And just discovering that self faith and letting go of the approval, that the needed approval of others, and just trusting in oneself to move forward.
I love that. That was said beautifully. Danica, I'll shift down to you real quick.
Well, I'm being shown like everything being burned down to the ground so that it's like a renewal, like a return, and it's coming in fast. Like everybody's truth is coming in fast and it's going to move fast. The energy is going to move fast, is what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. Melissa?
I like how we are interpreting the energy through our own lens. But I almost have this feeling of like being on a horse and riding, and it is like forward momentum. It's like cutting through the BS. It is um, not confrontational, but like, let's get this done. This, all this other stuff is not working anymore. It is just that barrel through, and we're going to make a new world sort of kind of energy.
Mm-hmm. And I'm getting several different images real quick. I'm seeing almost the Paul Revere energy is very present for some reason. It's very much like the British are coming. It's almost like we're being shown or told things that are coming forward in this energy that's going to burn down some things. But also this year of being competitive, because they're showing me that horses, whenever they run with each other, they always feel the need to be in the lead. They can't help it. But I'm also feeling an empathetic year come through. I'm thinking around the reason why being around horses really heal us. So there's a lot of room for some almost this, in a weird way, a slowdown with so much judgment around. It's almost like we kind of let go of that. We're more empathetic with ourselves. It's internalized. So a rapid race outside and almost a slowdown for here. We're not so worried about changing up the furniture. We're kind of more in the material world this next year, I feel, which is maybe why some of us are feeling a little bit disconnected from the spiritual thing, is because we do have that kind of energy. Last year would have been a very soul bearing, soul driving year. And we're more into the physical reality here. It's almost like if we fix the inside, now it's time to change our wardrobe. So that's kind of what I'm feeling. Now, do we feel it's gonna be a good year, Ariel?
I feel
I
like
guess how to
it'll
quantify good, but you know what I mean.
it will definitely be easier for a lot of people who are more in touch with themselves. It does also feel like that demanding of who are you on the inside. If you don't know, now is the time to figure it out and to really just stand on business, because
Mm-hmm.
nobody else can do it for you.
Yes.
But definitely rewarding once you get on the horse.
Danica?
I keep hearing let your freak flag fly. That's what I
Yes.
keep
We would
hearing.
be saying that. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I love,
yes,
you're our spiritual party girl, and I'm so here
you're
for it.
welcome. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
it's like it's my favorite thing. You're there to like remind people to literally have fun. You have such a fun driving energy.
Thank you.
Melissa?
I am feeling that the ones who are confident and standing in their truth are going to um, navigate this like change energy much better than those who are trying to deceive or defraud or live in the shadows. Like the light is going to expose that, and so in that terms, I would think that there's going to be um, for many it's going to be an easy path, but for on an individual level, I do feel like if you are somebody who does not like unknown change and doesn't like wants it to be all settled and comfortable, it's going to be a challenge for you. That's kind of a challenge. But I have quit asking about the political landscape, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
had to cut
Well,
myself off.
fair. No, and I keep hearing, allow the speed of this year to be brought by the year, not by you. It's almost like it's going to be a fast-paced year. You don't need to push it. And the phrase that I kept hearing was, do not put the cart before the horse. This is the year to really do things by the book, and specifically do. The other thing is, I was talking to my mentor last night, and she was talking about how this year has already felt different. So I'm kind of piggybacking on her, but we were saying how it almost feels like we've been given the opportunity for our foundation to be turned back into cement so that we can sort of allow it to re-solidify in a way that we'd prefer. So we wouldn't do that process quickly. So the speed will be outside of us and we'll maybe even feel a little bit pulled away with it, but we don't need to be rushing anything we're doing. The motion will be made for us, so to speak. I feel like that's a good coverage of the year. I'm trying to see if there's anything else they want to say. Mm-mm. Okay, so the question is, how does one align with purpose or path and path? And speaking more on the soul level of it all. So Melissa, I'm going to let you start on this one.
So they're saying that you're given opportunities to decide which direction you want to go, and your path can have little deviations, and there's always free will. But when you are making a change either for yourself or a change in those around you, and you feel that positivity and you feel that sense of pride or accomplishment, that is how you know that you're on the right path. It's not like you're going to read it in a book. You're not going to be told this is what you have to do. You feel it out, which is what we don't like.
Mm-hmm. We don't like that. I don't like that. Nobody in this call does. Ariel, what are they saying about it for you?
If you don't like the tune on the radio, to change the dial. It does feel like whenever you are going towards what is meant for you, it does feel, it's almost that destiny feeling, like I was destined for this. And for anything else, you just acknowledging the feeling in your heart, and that either this is wrong or this is uncomfortable for me, and just recognizing it at a soul level and being able to decide if this is where you want to remain or if you want to change direction.
Mm-hmm. Danica?
I'm being shown like a path, like a long, winding path. So it's not like you just automatically know your soul mission and then you just stay on that and do that the rest of your life. It's like it changes throughout because your soul is evolving and changing along the way. And I'm being told that as long as you make sure you're making choices out of love and not out of fear, that's going to keep you more aligned on your path of your highest frequency, and that the more authentic you can be along the way, that will align you in like a faster paced way to get there.
Well, and Danica, we've shared in conversation before that you have roles in upholding certain grid mechanisms. That's not a conscious thing you can ever do. Not really. You might get called to go to a canyon or called to go to this place, and you won't know why, and you'll just be drinking Mai Tais and having a good time. And by you being present, you're fulfilling a purpose.
And what they're
So,
telling me is that, yeah, there's your conscious path that you choose. And if you want to be in alignment, yes, you look for those signs that you're on alignment. But they're saying like there's this whole other part of your higher self that is operating even if you're not aware of it. So, but yeah, there's been a time when, and I didn't even want to talk about it out loud because it was a weird thing, but it was an instance of me in the dream world kind of transmuting energy for somebody that I was very close to. So, and had I known that I could do that, I'd be doing that shit for everybody. But it was just
yes.
something that the higher self was doing. And I happened to be able to see part of it.
1000%. And that is what my guides were gearing towards. Is it's like how arrogant to think that the least impressive version of us, which would be probably our conscious mind, would be the one in custodianship of our soul contracts and our gifts. And it's usually not like that, right? The other thing I feel very earnestly is that I usually see around people 4 to 5. Sometimes 3 if you're that newer soul energy, sometimes 6 if you've got a lot on your plate, but I don't ever see somebody with 1. And sometimes you graduate out of them just based on age. So sometimes one of the purposes is motherhood. And so once you're finished with that process, unless you choose to go back in, you've checked off a huge purpose. But then what? And so some of the purposes will have very specific things to do with a type of person. So maybe you're always super magnetic to addicts. and you don't know why, but suddenly people can somehow find themselves when they're near you, even if you're not ministering to them. These are purposes that are inherent in the incarnation. So, that's hard for us, though. The other thing, too, is my guides are speaking about sort of like if you've ever been to a candle vigil. And they're saying you go to places where you can share your light. Because in the work that we do and that gift that we're given to see the other side of the veil, we have to, it's almost like you dip to the other side of the veil to light your candle, and then you pass it on through your readings and through your ministry, because that's why we have it. We don't have it so we can be millionaires or we can skip our lessons. If that were true, and then you do see people who have, they have assisted relationships with clairvoyancy, clairaudiency, whatever, and they use it for the dark, and you start to see how that pans out for them. It's almost like natural order has a little bit of a rejection of that, or it's almost like if you were to be having much luck and you start abusing the gift of spirit, your luck starts to go dry, and you don't know why. Staying on a position to where you can share the best parts of yourself is the other way that no matter what, you're not missing a purpose. So now I want to ask, why do you think, and this is to the guides, obviously, or actually I'm going to make this more fun. What is the most annoying expression of pathfinding that the guides have to deal with? Ariel, I'll start with you.
Most annoying.
Like what do the guides get tired whenever us, whenever we're like, why don't we know our path? Yeah. What do your guides say about like where does that kind of get into a fun way of annoyance,
It feels like that what comes next. It's like a child on Christmas morning of what comes next. It's like, well, I can't tell you that. You just got to keep reading the book until you get to the end and see what little treasures you pick up along the way. It's all part of a grand master plan. The story's been written. We're just going through it.
And what about you, Melissa?
Oh, they're just poking fun at me. They're like, the most annoying thing is it's almost like trying to teach a toddler skills, because you'll teach it and they'll be like, okay. And then they turn back. How do you do that? And then you teach it again. Okay. And you go away and you come back. Oh, show me again. How do you do that? And it's just, they're like, yeah, that which I think is funny, because when my kids were toddlers, that was one of the most challenging things for me, was to be that, like, especially with my first child, to be the educator and the, oh, good job, when I'm just like, can you not, how do you not know how to do this? But I'm like, they're toddlers, they're little. So
yeah.
That's what they're making fun of.
And what about you, Danica?
Oh, I'm hearing the little kid in the car saying, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And I'm being told to just trust in the divine process and divine timing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't trust enough.
Well, and my guides are they're saying the incessant why questions. It's like a kid's always like, well, why? Well, why? Well, why? And it's like, but we're doing it. We're just sobbing. And we're like, why did this happen? And they're like, I don't, But I just realized something, too. If I ever have kids, like all three of y'all are moms. And you've already done it. So I'm like, I'll have ample ability to be like, what the fuck do I do when this kid's doing this? Like, help.
Right. You've got like 3 different parenting types. So it's like whichever one you choose, you go to the opposite and we'll tell you that's not going to work.
I love it. No, I feel that was actually a very supported feeling. I love that. Yay, that makes me feel happy. Okay. So this is another question they want me to ask. As in the work that we do, how do you communicate to a client when they're entirely off their purpose or off their path? Danica, I'll start with you.
I think it's more helping them come to a place where they recognize that themselves, of how they feel about the path that they're on right now, so that they can come to the conclusion themselves that it isn't. Because we can sit there and tell them all day, if they don't feel that or want to change themselves, it's not going to matter what we say.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Ariel?
Giving them the confidence to start over, and that they can believe in themselves to start over. It also feels like it would have to come from outside of us, in like going deeper within them. So reaching, I don't like the visual, but like reaching down their throat, like almost to just um I guess it would be like to clear out whatever is stuck there, and
Mm.
to just fill them, not really with us, but with them, like the higher them. Let me see if
Dude,
I'm
if I
just trying to
ever see
clarify.
Ariel reaching
Please
down the throat
don't.
of
No, no, no,
somebody
no. I
at the
didn't.
fair, I'm gonna be like, I don't know her.
No, no. That's what I didn't.
I'll
I
be
didn't
like,
like
I've
the
never seen
imagery.
her before in my life.
No, I didn't like the image.
I'm just kidding. No, no, no. And Melissa?
Well, the phrase they keep saying is because I'm more of like the teaching mindset. Like, what are you willing to do about it? You've got this situation. I can, I can share with you what the guides are saying, but you have to make a change. Like, you have to take control of this situation. So, what are you willing to do?
I agree. And, because of the style of guideship I think I represent, because I do think our guides probably represent it's very in tandem with your energy, usually, right? And so I kind of come with that same energy with Melissa, a little bit of that sterner energy. And one of the things that I will constantly say is I'll just say, well, then we can just keep doing this. Like we can, I mean, you have options. You can continue upon this path. There's nobody who's going to stop you. But the fact that it's even being asked of me means that you don't feel that you are usually. So I kind of, I'm also with Ariel too, where it comes from within, where it's like, people have to get to a rock bottom on their own right. Like we only make big changes when we're tired of ourselves, is what I'm seeing. Because if you make changes for other people, you're not even worried about other path. You're worried about, you're not even thinking about yourself at that point. So I don't usually see clients ask that. But no, I think purpose and path is a hard one because when we get lost, we yearn for it. And then once we start to yearn for it, we start to realize all the limitations that we're living in, maybe against it. And then we just give up because it's like, well, I'd have to unravel all this whole tapestry just to start. And you're like, well, or you could just not. And then what happens? Does that look better? I don't know. For some people, it will. Real quick, I mentioned Danica. I don't know if your ears were ringing today, but I had a client.
Yes, they were.
Okay, I was talking about you
Oh,
because I have a client who, the one I was telling you off air about with the blocked guides, and essentially this energy, she wants to leave but has been told all these things like, oh, you're not going to get anything, and then do all the things. And I was like, well, and I kind of hit her with a slammer. I wasn't trying, but I was getting irritated with the lack of power because she knows better. And I said, your situation is not particularly unique. And I was just describing what you went through and where you are now. And I was like, so, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I just think that this isn't, I know that that's not true. And that's about all I can say about that. But I was describing, how quickly you moved through that process. And that you did take some time. You didn't leave the moment you found out you should or you could. You took time to plan it out. And I was saying, take time. I told her
yeah.
take 2026 to really get herself into position to do so. Hopefully
Hmm.
she's there with us. Okay, I'm gonna move off that. Okay, navigating pain when truth comes out. So, when illusions shatter, what are the messages around sort of protecting? How do we protect somebody from that? How do we protect ourselves from it as we try to move through more knowledge and more information? Because that's usually to have when you've been lied to and then you find out that's a lie, it starts to unravel the tapestry from within. Because if that can be a lie, what else can be a lie? So, Ariel, I'll let you start.
It feels like the freedom to start over and to really find your grounding on what new platform it is that you're going to stand on and what new truths you're going to accept and believe and really put your time and energy into. And just to not let that be a complete disassociation, or just giving grace to oneself to not let it be a complete, no, sorry, hold on. Allowing grace to oneself for it to be a disillusion. My gosh, it's like so much. Sorry, that is what it feels like. Just allowing it to help me out here, please.
No, you're good. No, I know what you're trying to
No, no, no.
say.
Yeah,
You're
it's
saying
just
to have
clinically.
grace
Mm-hmm.
for the fact that you were convincingly lied to.
Yeah.
Because we'll take that on as frustration, or that are we stupid? How could we be so stupid? Whatever that narrative might be, to kind of just leave that at the door. There's no real value to it. If you got the wool pulled over your eyes, it already happened. Like, don't get mad at yourself, Danica.
Well, I'm going to speak a little bit on personal experience about
Yeah.
That actually is a process that I had to work through, like emotionally, because I did have that happen to me, and it was almost like it made me feel like I couldn't trust myself.
Yes.
And so I really had to work through that process of backtracking and recognizing what my body was doing all along
Mm.
to show me, the lies, to help me recognize the lies. And then it was like I had to learn to remove or unattach myself from someone else's choices and realize that that was about them and that actually had nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Oh God, that's so good. That's so true. Ooh, Melissa.
So they're highlighting like stages of grief, in terms of like you finally have realized like the situation, and there's a moment of this disassociation to it. Like how did this happen? Like you're in that state of stress and confusion and shock. And so for us working with those people, it is just trying to get their bearings. And for the person who's going through it, it is just a breathe. Breathe through it. Don't make any
Yeah.
rash decisions. Don't make any. You need to think it through. You need to go back, like Danica said. You go back and you have to break it down, and you have to kind of figure out how did I get in this position, and have grace with yourself for decisions that you made, and for things that you didn't see because you don't know what you don't know. So it's being kind, being aware, and moving forward in a way that honors yourself, um, and the direction that you want to persist in. And some people are going to want to persist because they can't face it. They recognize it, they see it, they know it,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel like it is too big, too scary. And for us, that is where we can step in and help spirit to guide them through that.
Mm-hmm. I want to see what my team's saying. It's almost to a feeling of you're just going to need to reassess the truths that you believe. Like, don't go out trying to find all the lies outside of yourself. Just find the truths within yourself. And we recognize that there are, societally speaking, a lot of large truths coming out right now. And it's going to make a lot of parents fear for their children. And so, if you're doing things already where you check your kids' phones, you keep up with their friends, you're present in their life, you don't need to go turn them into hermits. You don't need to turn yourself into hermits. It's more just functionally understand what is true about your parenting, what is true about your reality, and just recognize that, um, you know, my mentor, we were talking about these truths that are coming out. And the way that she phrased it, which I loved, is she said that it is the underbelly of humanity, and it's almost like it capsized. And so that's one thing I'm seeing. And the other thing I'm seeing is, and she said this was, it's almost like an abscess. It's a sickness within the human collective, and it needs to rise to the surface so that it can heal. So if people start to get scared about what they're seeing on the news, just recognize as well that this has to come to the surface so that it can be cleansed. So this destabilization in some people's reality, just take it as healing. Don't take it as an attack. I just heard it's being dealt with, and that makes me happy because I'm glad that it's not just on us to deal with that. Spirit's got some large hands into the mix right now, and they have for a while. This feels like a relatively planned, forced capsization. A lot of things have been getting involved in planning for this event. So, there's some divinity in it too. I feel, and I also want to say this too, that I know I've said it to y'all privately before, but also please understand too that, spiritually speaking, children are a protected class. It's one of the reasons why, if any of us, in this call have ever dealt with abuse, there are protections to it. One of them is the removal of its memory. One of it also might be that you sit outside of yourself as something is occurring. So we have these weird, we have certain protections. I always say when the soul's still under warranty. And the other thing is, if there is a child that passes, there is a very real thing as angelic energy. It's not necessarily out there helping adults like you see in movie. It's not quite like that, but it also is the one that comes and collects the souls of the children, of the ones that are too young to make a choice to cross over. So they are automatically and immediately protected if they should cross over before their time. So, I just wanted to say that out loud for anybody. Why do you think, in the topic of truths and the nature of them, what do the guides say around this statement? That the truth desires to make itself known. And Melissa, I'll start with you. What does that mean on a spiritual level?
It's what our souls are designed to do, is to grow. And you can't grow without knowing yourself and knowing your surroundings. So it is the state of trying to figure out the right word, informed growth. It's like knowing the direction you want to be in, knowing what's around you, and making your own decision on how you want to move forward.
Ariel, what are they saying about that statement for you? That truth makes itself known.
Just showing it to me, like if you have paint on the wall and you just cover up layer after layer after layer. And then we have the homes where the older homes where when people go through the restoration, and that is what they look for, is some of that original foundation work. So just allowing the top coats to come off and embracing what is that's underneath.
And what do you feel, Danica?
I am hearing truth is our natural state of coherence.
Yes.
So
We used to
it's
be much more
pure.
telepathic.
Yeah, it's
And
pure.
well, what I'm getting to, and real quick to that, they want me to go on that a little bit longer. So the telepathy, we stopped being telepathic because we started to keep secrets. Imagine a reality where it would never bother me for you to be able to pop in my mind and be present as I thought exactly what I was thinking in that moment when you wanted to reach me. If you live in such good nature and good truth, who gives a, right? But we got more isolatory, we got more distrustful, and then the telepathy stopped. And right now, I wouldn't want any three of y'all in my head. Like I don't live in a way, I've not ever been trained in the way, like I love my privacy. So that I'm still outside of, I'm a long way from where we came from even now. But the thing too that they're talking about is, this is the messaging I was getting to, is it's like if you've ever told a lie, it always comes out in like at the worst time, in the time you'd want it to come out the least, or you do something that reveals it. Like it always has this way of just making sure it gets found out. It's in the nature of it. It's almost like it is anti concealment. And so I see that what they're kind of almost showing me this. It's almost like if there was well, this happened. This is so funny. A bunch of humans went through those files. They were the ones redacting. Well, they all were forced in there overtime. They don't want to be there. They did the sloppiest job one ever could do in redaction world. And so now the whole world is seeing a lot of these names. And I'm sitting there thinking, you don't want to tell me that those people that were in that room weren't having guides that were like, no, it's fine. You did great. Like, they're probably being an active participant in these people doing a terrible job of it. Because
That's
again,
what I
it's
was
just
being
the
shown.
nature
Like,
of,
yeah. So
yeah,
I wholly believe and am feeling that there are some people who are letting their conscience speak through their actions, but not overt, like, oh, that was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they're exercising their
yeah.
ability to be like, I feel like I need to do something, but I can't speak out because I'm in this group of people that it's not going to be looked favorably upon.
This is it. Is
I'm
it just
losing you a
me?
little bit,
Yeah.
Melissa.
Yeah.
So, for the people who are doing the redactions, right? So, yes, I do
Uh-oh.
believe. Am I?
We're
Can you
getting
hear
a
me?
lag. Yes, just a little,
Good.
but it's still a little bit laggy. I'm
Um,
sorry.
Tell the
I
guys
don't
that we
know
miss
why.
you. We need you here.
Yeah.
I've got good Wi. Did you hear what I was saying before?
Danica, I'll rock with you for a second.
What was the question again?
Oh, we were just saying. Oh, actually, there wasn't a question. We were just talking about. Oh, we were talking about the files and how that they were poorly redacted because again, I imagine all the guys were kind of like, "Squirrel, look over here. No, you did that right. It's fine." Spirit's always working on our behalf for as far as the collective goes. And if it was correct for those to be redacted poorly, I'm sure they had a hand in it. All right, we're going to jump to so the big theme that we felt when we were talking earlier was sort of going through understanding each other's or getting messages about the spiritual path. So again, I find it ironic that we're like, well, don't worry about the path, and they're like, but also, what's this next year hold for us as far as our spirit goes? And we're only human. We're allowed to be human. But all right, I'm actually going to start first because they want me to start, and they want me to first pick. I'm going to work on Ariel real quick. This year is all about getting your feet wet, getting your toes wet. I feel that you have a lot of things that are still going to pull you in towards your family as opposed to out actively ministering as much. I feel that you're going to be participating with us, of course, and I would really not be surprised if you don't eventually work within the Miracles of Joy group, and I think that that would be good for you. But again, I feel that a lot of this year for all of us, but for you, Ariel, is going to be touch and go. You're going to touch it and then you're going to go away for a second. Then you're going to touch it and you're going to go away for a second. I think that you are going to continue to grow in your mediumship tools. So when that starts to really show for you, you're going to kind of switch up how you like to minister. You might find yourself maybe leaning on that a little bit more than you do now. And that can be better or worse. It depends on how you want to handle it because you do always have a gift specifically more in transmuting emotional energy. So I would hate for you to sort of act more as a voice for the other side when in reality, you really are there to help people discuss their pains and process and transmute their pains. Do you have any questions around that? Are you
I'll be
okay with
right
that's
back.
true?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I mean, touching, on and off, but I'd rather just be on. But I know life is there, and
Well, they're saying you have plenty of decisions still yet to be made.
okay.
And so to be able to be present with those decisions as opposed to being present with the outside world needing you. I feel that you have much more growth in 2027 as far as this goes. Danica, let me feel. That's the creepiest statement if you have no context for what we're doing here. I was like, no, I shouldn't have said that way. All right,
You can feel my back. Just
Hey,
kidding.
listen.
Just kidding.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna get a back tattoo, aren't you?
I do want one, but I
Are you gonna
got
get the
that one.
dragon?
I, I I do want one, yes.
Interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if that was on your back. Not that it needs to be, but just that I wouldn't be surprised.
Does it have a flower of life with it too?
Girl, you can make it whatever you want. You got all the options. Let's feel around your message. Okay. It feels a lot to me like there is some potential over in Fort Worth that you're going to involve yourself with. I don't know anything about that side of town. Eventually I will, because I'll be on your side of town soon enough. But it almost feels like there's something not on my radar yet that eventually will be on both of our radars. So, because I don't feel you as active within the Miracles of Joy. I don't know why. It's not that you're not welcome. It's just I don't see you there for some reason. And I do see it, so I don't know what that's about. But I feel almost like that you're going to be over on that side of town more. I need to feel that. Let me feel that more. Or almost like, I almost wonder if you get an opportunity to like lead a group. There's something around more group things than what I am normally prone to. So it's almost like a lot of your opportunity as opposed to sitting in fairs, though you will do that, especially for practice. I almost feel that you're a ministry to the groups that you attend. Like it gets out that that's the work that you do. And then they're like, can I get her number? And then you're more word of mouth, I feel, interestingly. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Is that accurate, Ariel?
That's what I was feeling too. More of like grief support groups. Like when people lose people and they go to like grief counseling in groups. Like that's what I was feeling. It's something circular.
Or even if you start your own, there's something around that.
That's interesting.
Hello.
Because why?
Because I have actually been feeling that. And we recently started a walking meditation group that's right here. Like I walk to it once a month on Sunday mornings.
Look, we were talking the other day about finding a walking something, and you said you're in Fort Worth too, right?
Yeah. Well, you know Bob that goes to Terry stuff.
I remember him.
Well, it's him and Brian, kind of their group from White Rock Lake. We started one over here.
Good. Oh my gosh, I will so go to that because I'm not going to White Rock Lake. White Lake.
Yeah.
White Rock Lake.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then welcome back, Melissa.
Welcome.
And I'm going to feel around your timeline and see what I'm seeing there. That's so weird. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Out of all four of us, for some reason I have I don't know if you're going to hate this or not. I feel like I'm looking at you through a camera, through a phone. Either you have at some point, I feel like you're either going to be just potentially doing videos around explaining metaphysical topics or something. It almost feels like you'll take a teacher role. There will be more of an instructor role. But that's a little bit later on in the timeline, maybe around 28, end of 27. But I feel that really this year is going to be a little bit like what I see with Ariel, which is you have a lot of busyness in your material world. And so you're going to be touching in and out of it. But I do also feel around you that there is going to be, you'll have more word of mouth growth towards the end of this year, towards the later part of this year. It's almost like the beginning part of your year is for the material and the latter part of the year is for the thing you love. Whatever those things are, it's going to be more time with your significant other, or why did I say that? Your husband. I'm sorry.
Fine.
And more time with spirit. I feel that you are prone to spiritual falls and winters. Is that weird? I don't know why. It's almost like yeah. So I do think that's the timeline I'm seeing around it more than anything. I kind of want to, I want to revisit with Ariel real quick. Let me just see what they're trying to say. You're going to have, for whatever reason, manifestation is very supported for you this year. It's almost like if you were seated at Miracles of Joy and you just really wanted to have clients, by your sheer will alone, you'd be able to make that happen. It's almost like the more that you decide you want something, you need to really harness that skill set and you need to more earnestly pour into the things you want, because you've almost exclusively been taught by your lifetime how to dissociate from what you want. It's almost like that if you don't want anything, you won't be disappointed. They're like, well, it's being wasted on you. That this gift of materialization will be wasted on you if you don't learn how to want things the way, like, more fully. And that's one thing that you've been doing incrementally since I've met you, is you've really been dialing in what you prefer and how to bring it about. And so this is just a process towards this gift, which is you have high manifestation levels. I think that you really, I'm seeing that actually as a spike that maybe it is it's just a natural support that you have, and I don't see that in the three of us. We have to we can we're all very strong manifestors. You have to be to work in spirit. Or I'm sorry, you don't have to be. It comes with working spirit. But you specifically, they want to shout that out.
Thank you.
Of course. And let me see if there's any other messages, because I haven't seen you guys, so I just want to like see if there's what I can give any of y'all. Danica, I've said this before, but they're saying it again. We want to make sure that if in this unity that you're doing, you're bringing forward, that you uphold the standard of the way that you're treated. There's no such thing as winning for him. There's no such thing as, okay, I'm in. Now it's like you know how you like to be treated. You know how you feel right now with him. If that ever takes a dip, you need to make a storm about it, because it is not in his nature. I don't feel he's abusive with this. You're not going to move in with him and then he's going to turn into an asshole. But I could see maybe a little bit of complacency. And you're such a firecracker. I want you to be willing to say, get out of my house if you're not going to give me what I need. And then he will very quickly rock back into energy, rock back into shape. So that's the one thing, is make sure you know what your standard is, and it's everything that you've built with him up to this point. Don't let that dip. It should only get better.
That's good to know. I've practiced that once already.
Good. Good. Oh, I know, right? And you were able to. Melissa, I'm just going to say, you don't need, I don't know why, but as far as I almost want to say pentacles, right? None of us use cards, so I don't know why we're doing that. But to not worry so much. You're going to be fine. There's nothing to worry about. And that you're going to, I hope that you're able to get some travel in this year. Do you have anything on the books?
No, there's things that I want to do, but no definite plans. And I would love to travel. Yeah.
Well, why, if anything, why not put you and your husband put your heads together and at least find one destination and nail down the intent of it, if not the time of it. But really, it almost feels like it feels important to say. So I'm going to say it, but it feels like, and it doesn't even need to be external travel. Maybe it's a cruise, maybe it's Hawaii. Like it doesn't have to be Europe or anything like that. But it just feels important. And it feels like you had a ringer of a year last year, and you guys kind of bypassed components of that. And I don't want it to be family centric. That's the other thing they're saying.
Yeah. No, I turned 50 in like a couple of weeks. And so before my husband got the assignment to be down in Vancouver, I said, I want to like do something. I want to either go somewhere or, I want to like celebrate this. And then he got the assignment that he has now. So yes, I want to do something. So that might be where it's coming from. And I will figure something out. But he doesn't like cruises, so it might not be that.
Well, for some reason, I also feel, I don't know if this is of any interest to you, but for some reason, an option, but I saw almost like you guys in one of those domes under the stars. I see something where you're kind of able to get away into, it almost feels like maybe it would be almost like a spiritual retreat, but not you going to one, but you just making one for yourself. Something kind of like that. And Ariel, I don't want you to, you're going to continue to really worry about Sophia, and just don't take that so into your body. She is fluctuating and growing in all these different ways, and I feel almost that you feel guilt. I don't know, you feel guilty about something, and I want you to recognize that you are not. I don't feel that that's appropriate. I don't feel that you have much to be guilty for. And your presence now in her energy and in her placement, it's going to be, you're right on time. You didn't miss a pivotal period. You didn't do anything wrong. And really, you've been everything that you've needed her to be. So they're almost just wanting to like pat you on the back and say like, girl, she's fine, you're fine. Don't take it into your energy so much. And more importantly, you're going to be so robust for both of them when they're in their high school years. And I feel that those are going to be the years when you're going to be pulling your hair out like, oh my God. So just save it for then. But you're also, I mean, they're so protected by you in spirit as well. Talk about paths. Like, I know that you can look at yourself and see yourself as smaller potentially, but you're actually quite the, I almost see these giant wings and they sit over your house and they come from you. And they're currently protecting your husband as well, regardless if that's always deserved or not. But it really is this almost like it's a rainfall. It wicks away you have a protective element to your purpose, and you are fulfilling it no matter how weak you felt in the past.
Shout out. Oh my God.
No, I'm just, it's the guys are chatty tonight.
It feels so hard sometimes, but it's just, she's going to high school next year, and they're in her classes, her college and careers class. She's just be giving so many options right now, like JROTC, doing Avid, and like doing all these things. And it's like, I am so happy for you because you do have just so many opportunities that we didn't really have in our district. And I want her to be able to take advantage of all of it.
I feel like the ROTC is a very strong choice for her.
Yeah. And
would be very good for her.
Okay. Because it just kind of came out of nowhere. And she said, well, they were talking to us about it today and it sounds really cool. I'm kind of interested. But I just want to make sure that she doesn't overwork herself either. The struggle that we're having with her right now is just to find motivation to do things. She had,
that's why the ROTC is very good for her, because a couple of reasons. It's very fair, relatively fair judgment of, it's a meritocracy. Where she's just come from with this theater stuff, it's the opposite of meritocracy. It's almost like the worse you are at what you do and all this stuff, the more you're rewarded. So she has that justice sense in her. She needs that validation because she's done a good job and it's all and she also needs help with the discipline. And she also needs help with getting out of her head. So all of these things all together, that physicality of it, these are the rules, and expect the perfection of that will match her desire because she's a perfectionist. So if she can stand up the right way and do things the right way and then get rewarded for it, that will be very positive for her. And it also meets a little bit of that masculine tick in her. So it's very well-rounded. All right. I'm trying to think if they have anything else to say. Melissa, I do want to say this as well. I would not be surprised if you guys do move from where you are now. I know that's been a discussion.
We know for sure. Yeah, we're going to be at the end of April, if not a little sooner. If I find a place that we like, I may just leave this. I mean, I would still have to rent this one, but yes, definitely. This is too far away from our work. So,
yeah, perfect. Okay. Because I was like, I don't think you're going to be in that spot. All right. Ooh, and the other thing though is this as well. Because of how much moving you've done over the past 5 years, the grounding is very important. Yeah, because they're showing me almost like the leaf falling, and it kind of goes like this and like that and like that and that. So you'll do that for the first couple of months in any new place that you're. And so they're saying if you can develop some grounding rituals for when you first move in, it will make that process more rapid for you.
I'm curious to see if they have anything to say about Gary's enlightenment path. He seems, again, just because he's around me, he is becoming a little more intuitive, and he does recognize it. I wonder if he is going to give himself credit for it, if that makes sense.
Oh, well, I'll let the girls take it. Ariel?
Oh my gosh, it feels fun. He feels like young boy energy, and everything is just brand new to him. Like, oh, shiny. I don't know that he would really take credit for much, as it is just a coincidence for him. But to just enjoy it for what it is. I don't really see him getting like too deep into it, but just acknowledging that there is more out there than what we live in will be fun for him.
Danica, what do you feel?
That's exactly what I feel. I feel like this childish energy of excitement, and I feel your annoyance with it.
Yes, I do too. I feel
So
I
I
felt that
like
as
it.
well. Yeah.
I do like, and there's for us having gotten together, that was something that drew me to him, is he does have a childlike playfulness. And so when I started opening up about the woo woo, he was very reserved. And so I kept telling him, I mean, like, even when our kids were little, he had some of those abilities. And so now, with me bringing it home routinely, he seems to have been sharpening that skill, and he doesn't even know it. And so I just try to have him recognize, give himself credit, and that I am not so different than him, vice versa. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah,
And
when
I
he
agree
comes,
with the girls. I don't think he's ever gonna fall in love with it. I don't think he's ever gonna study it.
no, no.
And honestly, if he were to, you would be like, you'd be irritated. You'd be like, listen, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, that's why I
You
almost
know?
see you guys like finding out a way to make like a game or something in between you two to keep it fun and yeah, like something that's fun between you two.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he every once in a while he'll be like, "Oh, I feel like you need to do this," and I'll be like, "No, I don't. No, I don't."
No, I mean, but he's always been they just said he's always been a little bit of a daydreamer. I almost see him like in class he would have been completely not listening and just thinking about what he wanted to think about. So it's almost like the more but then it can get negative if you get scared. But the more he's alone right now, he's actually stretching his intuition a little bit to try and connect with you, and that's opening the crown a little bit more for him in general.
Yeah.
So, that I do see that around him. All right, what do we think that we should talk about next week?
I want to talk
Anything
about
coming to mind?
auras.
What'd you say?
Auras.
Auras.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. Let's do that. Auras. Danica?
I am being shown the word Sophia code, which I do not know what that is.
All right, I'll do it. Fine, you can have my coat. I'm just kidding. It's not me. It's much. That's a huge, huge topic, and I love it. So that's a
Okay.
great, great one. And for you, Melissa?
I think pet communication. That's been a big topic. Like, one of my new close friends here does that. And I am still fascinated by it. And I get, since I've had my littlest cat, she's the one that's like really um, taken to me. I will get her messages every once in a while, and she has my personality. She's very sarcastic, and she's very
I
like
love it.
the backhanded remarks. And she's got a poke. She does not have a poker face. You can see everything on her face. But anyway, I am really fascinated with what the pets have to say.
Okay, we can do it. I love that. That'll actually be such a fun conversation. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining me once again. And we're back at it finally. So I'll see you next week. And I'm so happy that we're doing this again. Because literally, like I texted you guys, I was editing last night and I was just playing the clips. And we're so good at our energy just gels. So when we're working, it's just flowing and it's just perfect. I'm really grateful. I may sometimes have, I really would like to feel like I'd like to invite Donna. I don't think any of y'all met her, but it's a one time deal. Not because I don't love her, but just because I love the way our energy is. But she's very, very gifted. So I want to give her a shot to meet you guys one time on here at least. She's awesome. She's an older lady who's just, she's about to retire. She's got this like wild, I'll tell you the rest of it off air, but okay. I love you. I love you. Love you. I will see you guys soon. And like I said, don't drop off, but I'm just going to end this and edit out. All right. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.